good morning and welcome to the show. I am Doug Ray. This is the Wealth Guardian Show. And for you longtime listeners, you know I usually always open the show up with a big salute and paying gratitudes to all of our armed service members and veterans that have served us so admirably and well. And today's no exception. I am going to do that. Thank you so much, troops. Thank you so much, veterans. And even first responders. Can't forget you. Thank you so much for everything you do. But having said that, this show's a bit different because if you are aware, Veterans Day is right around the corner, November the 11th. That's a Friday. And we decided here at the Wealth Guardians, we wanted to try to do something a little bit different and hopefully get this thing to be an annual occurrence. So what we're going to do this Friday, November the 11th, is we're going to sponsor Lunch on the Lawn for our vets. Now, what does that mean? Well, we're going to sponsor this. It's a charity event, and we scoured a lot of different charities. And we picked one, and I'm going to tell you a lot about this, and we've even got a guest from that charity. I'm going to introduce her in a moment. But let me talk about Lunch on the Lawn for just a second. It's going to be Friday, November the 11th, from 11:30 to 1 o'clock on the front lawn of the Broyhill Office Suites. And I want to thank Ed Broyhill for allowing us to have this event there. And what we're going to do is we're going to have Gunny Smitty's hot dogs in, and it's going to be a hot dog lunch served by Gunny Smith. And it's a $10 meal, and every $3 of this is going to go to our chosen charity. And you can obviously give more to the charity if you want to, but $3, Gunny Smitty has been so gracious to allow 30% of the cost of his meal to go to this charity, and you'll find out why in just a moment. So please stop by on Friday, November the 11th, out in Clemens at the on the front lawn right there, the Broyhill. If you buy a lunch, a hot dog from Gunny Smitty, we're going to put an American flag down in the lawn in your honor. So we'll be talking about more of that. Let me talk about this charity. We looked at a lot of charities to sponsor for this event, and we chose Hope for the Warriors, and you can find them on the web at hopeforthewarriors.org. And let me tell you why we chose this charity. Number one, we wanted to find a charity, obviously, that was specifically for our veterans and a charity that's been highly regarded and highly ranked. You know, when you give money to a charity, most of us want most of that money, most of that dollar bill that we give them to go to helping the charity that we've chosen. We're very aware of what went on a few months, a year or so ago with Wounded Warriors. And we wanted to make sure that the charity that we chose was not going to be in a similar situation. So Hope for the Warriors is a charity that is homegrown. It is a North Carolina-based company down in Jacksonville, North Carolina. It has a 4-star rating from the Charity Navigator, which for those of you who don't know what that means this is big league, big-time stuff here. They are a great charity. So to give us an idea of what they do, I wanted to bring in Michelle Rademacher, who is a community engagement coordinator for Hope for the Warriors, and let her tell you firsthand what they do and what they're all about. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, good. So give us an idea of what Hope for the Warriors does, how it was founded, where it's located, and just the bird's eye view.
Okay, well, Hope for the Warriors was founded in 2006 on Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, by a couple of military spouses that found themselves in a unique position. One of their husbands had been wounded pretty badly in Iraq, and they had the means to get to Germany to see their husband. They had the means. They knew what to do, but they kind of asked themselves, what would other people do? What would the younger Marines do? And that kind of sparked it. And then they started with a run in 2006, and it just grew from there. So we're in our 10th year. And what we do is we have several different programs. We don't only help the veteran themselves. We help their families, their caregivers, as well as families of the fallen. We have clinical health and wellness programs. We have licensed social workers on staff. We have transition services, so that could include resume writing. The young Marines or service members that are getting out of the military and don't know what's next, we can help guide them, get them in touch with the people that can help them get to the next step. We also have caregiver scholarships that can be used for trade schools, universities, and things to get to the next level. We also have a great sports and rec program. This is used for outdoor adventures. We have runs throughout the country. We have a team Hope for the Warriors. And all of this is geared to help with the physical and psychological recovery for the service members and their families. We also have community engagement just to link the military with the community to help each side better understand each other.
Wow, Michelle, you guys do a lot. One of the things that just got my attention a moment ago is the transition service that you guys provide. I think that's so important for some of these folks coming out of the services. I know specifically a situation, some good friends of mine and my wife's, their son served 2 tours in Iraq, and he got out of the Army about, I guess it's been 3 or 4 years, and has had a very, very difficult time transitioning into civilian life. So, my hat's off to you guys for doing that. That can be very, very hard for these folks.
And it is very hard, and they feel very alone. They feel like they're the only ones that are going through this, especially if they don't live in a military town. If their home of record is maybe, away from a base or away from their peers. So it does help have people they can talk to. And like I said, we have licensed social workers, and these people can work on the phone. We have them all over the country. So it really does help with that.
If you just joined us, we are today talking with our guest, Michelle Rademacher, who is a official from a charity that we chose to sponsor this year, Hope for the Warriors. You can find them on hopeforthewarriors.org. And on Veterans Day, November the 11th, the Wealth Guardians is sponsoring Lunch on the Lawn for our vets, and we want veterans, we want everybody to come and have lunch with us. Gunny Smitty is going to be providing hot dogs, brats, chips, drinks, gourmet toppings, you name it, for $10. Your lunch is $10, and $3 of that 10 is going to go directly to hopeforthewarriors.org. So this is Friday, November the 11th at 11:30 to 1 o'clock. You business owners out there, if you're listening, please give some consideration for sponsorship to this worthy charity. It's hopeforthewarriors.org. Now, Michelle, one of the saddest things we hear about with these folks coming back is the high suicide rate. Are you guys working with any of these folks and helping them out?
Yes, we do. That's, again, where our clinical health and wellness team comes in. We have a website, hopeforthewarriors.org. Anybody who's struggling can click on that, go to apply for services, and within 48 hours, a professional will get in touch with them. We work closely to get them the help they need, as well as active duty folks that maybe don't want their command to know what's going on, just to get the support that they need. And again, we want to stress that it's also for caregivers, their families, because everyone is affected by this. And it's just unacceptable that our veterans are going through this day in and day out. So we have a lot of different programs in place to help them see that there is help out there, to show them that there's always another day. We have a Warriors Wish program, and what that does is it helps wounded service members fulfill some kind of a desire, whether it's to start a new business, whether it's to go on a trip to help them re-engage with their family, whether it's, sports and recreation equipment to help them get back out there and see that every day is a precious gift.
Now, Michelle, I know you said the charity was founded down in Jacksonville by Marine families, but you guys obviously offer the services to all of our veterans, regardless of the branch they served in.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned earlier you guys are 4-star rated. Tell me a little bit about that and how much of every dollar donated goes directly to the charity.
That's a really important question that obviously is on everyone's mind. 8 cents of every dollar that we collect goes to administrative expenses. We have a very, very small staff. We have 54, and that's nationwide. We have another 8 cents that goes to fundraising, which is not, we don't pay for fundraising. We don't pay for interviews. We don't pay for support. That's just basically flyers and that sort of thing. 84 cents on the dollar goes directly back into our program. And as you mentioned, we are the recipient of the 4-star rating on Charity Navigator for 5 years in a row. We're also the top-rated nonprofit on Great Nonprofits for 5 years in a row. So it's very important to us to keep that integrity.
Boy, that is terrific stuff, Michelle. I tell you what I'm going to do. We're up against a break. I'm going to have you back in on the next segment to kind of wrap things up. But before we go to break, I want to talk about our sponsorship of Hope for the Warriors. We are going to have a lunch on Friday, November the 11th, Veterans Day, from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, provided by Gunny Smitty's Hot Dogs. It's $10. $3 of the $10 will go to this charity. We'll plant an American flag in the lawn of the Broyhill in Clemens in your honor if you come have lunch with us, 11:30 to 1 o'clock, November the 11th, Friday, November the 11th. Please come have lunch with us and learn about this wonderful homegrown charity right here in North Carolina for our veterans. You've been listening to the Wealth Guardians right here on 94.5 WPTI, the Piedmont's news, talk, and sports station.
I don't remember what day it was.
And welcome back to the Wealth Guardians radio program. My name is Doug Ray, and today we've been talking about what I hope to become an annual event, and that is a Veterans Day sponsorship of a worthwhile charity. We're going to have lunch on the lawn of the Broyhill for our veterans on Friday, November the 11th. That's Veterans Day, from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. And I want to give a big thanks to Ed Broyhill for letting us use the Broyhill for this luncheon. If we have bad weather, we're going to be able to go inside and use the big conference center there. But we're planning on good weather, and Gunny Smitty's Hot Dogs is going to be sponsoring the lunch. It's $10 per person, with $3 of that $10 going directly to our charity, Hope for the Warriors. .org. Again, please put this on your calendar right now. Friday, November the 11th, 11:30 to 1 o'clock at the Broyhill Office and Convention Center in Clemens, North Carolina. We're having lunch on the lawn for the vets. Come by, grab a hot dog or a brat, talk to us. I'll be there. You'll probably see some other folks you might know there, and let's have a good lunch for a great and worthy cause. I want to bring Michelle back in, and she's been telling us about the charity. She is the community coordinator or community engagement coordinator for Hope for the Warriors. And Michelle, during the break, you were telling me about a couple things that you guys recently helped a veteran with, and also a sponsorship event. How about telling our listeners a little bit about that?
Well, through our Warrior Wish program, which is it's a really great program. A veteran will apply, and again, it's a veteran, a family, or their caregiver, and we hope to restore their sense of family or hope through granting their wish. And one service member in particular had gotten out of the military. He had been severely injured, and he had always kind of worked with his hands. So he started as a therapy tool to woodwork, and it kind of grew from there. He started selling pieces at fairs. He started supplementing the income for the family, but he needed equipment to grow his business. So we were able to help him set up a woodworking shop. And in about a year's time, he now supplements his family completely. They travel to different fairs. So it's not only helping with the financial burden of the family, but they also travel together, so it helps them bond as a family unit. So that's been a great source for that.
That's terrific.
We also, just this past weekend, was the Marine Corps Marathon. And I don't know, for those of you who have ever taken part in it, it is a once-in-a-lifetime thing to see. It's wonderful. And we were blessed to have about 13 hand cyclists come and take part, as well as 50 to 60 community members. And that's another way people can support. They can do races with us, and they're right there with our service members, complete the race, and you can get bids to various marathons. Again, the Warrior Wish program came in. We had a service member who did the marathon with us last year, but needed to get a different bike. So we were able to grant him with a hand cycle, and it was just a really great bonding experience. All of them got together. They all worked together to help him fit his cycle, seeing that they could work together and just have that bonding time. So it was a really great experience.
Well, you know what? I am so looking forward to working with you guys and helping to raise more money so that we can help some other veterans that need it. Thanks for coming in today and being on the show with us, Michelle. Really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. And for all of you that would like to come out, I will be at the event with different literature on our program, and I'd love to talk to anybody who is interested in taking part in our programs, volunteering, or just getting involved any way they can.
Thanks again, Michelle, for coming in. And yes, I'll be there too. And I want to throw this out to you veterans. You got your uniform. If you can still fit in it, wear it. I'd love to see that. Now, full disclosure, I can't fit into mine anymore, but I will wear my hat. So Friday, November the 11th, 11:30 to 1 o'clock, lunch on the lawn for the vets. Please come. It's $10. It's provided by Gunny Smitty. He's a Marine Corps gunnery sergeant. $10. You can get a great hot dog meal or brats, chips, drinks, toppings, you name it. 3 out of the $10 is going to go directly to hopeforthewarriors.org. Please take a look at that. Pull that up on your website if you're sitting there at the house right now and look at all the wonderful things that they've done for our veterans in the last 10 years. It's an amazing charity. It's homegrown right here in North Carolina, and they're doing God's work. So help them out. All right, so off she goes there. So with the few remaining minutes we have in this segment, I want to talk to you. You know, we have a very, very important day coming up here in a couple days. And some of you have already voted. And I thought I would give you my thoughts about this election. I have no intention of telling you how to vote. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to vote and why I decided to vote that way. And I know many of you have already voted. This is an important election for a lot of reasons. It is the most important election in my lifetime since I've been old enough to vote. My first presidential election was Ford Carter, and I've voted in every single election since then. You know, and I think it is a duty of a citizen of this country to vote. Now, this one's a tough one. I know a lot of you are not excited about it. It's a tough choice. And let's face it, there really is only two choices. As a citizen of this country, not only is it your right to vote, it's your duty to vote. Because you live in this country and you pay taxes, you have to choose the next leader. And the reason it's only a choice of two is because no others have a chance the way our system is set up. So that means it's a very, very important decision on your part. As I look down this election season and trying to figure out what candidate I wanted to support. I looked at the 17 Republican nominees and I said, all 17 of them are better than Hillary Clinton. I don't like Hillary Clinton for a lot of reasons, and I'll go into that in a moment. But I have to tell you, Donald Trump was my 17th choice. I don't like Donald Trump. I never have. I don't like his arrogance. I don't like his obnoxious style. I never cared for his TV shows. But he is one of two candidates, and one of these two are going to be president. Now, look at Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton is a personality and a character that I could never vote for. And it goes way back. It's not because she's a woman. I would vote for the right woman in a heartbeat. Hillary Clinton is probably one of the most dishonest, corrupt human beings to ever seek high office. And it goes all the way back to the days of the cattle futures, Whitewater. It goes back to selling out the Lincoln bedroom. It goes back to her covering up for her husband's misdeeds with all the women. On and on and on. And more importantly, in recent times, it absolutely is her inaction in Benghazi. It absolutely is the way she mishandled emails that were not just confidential, but were top secret. Now, let me tell you something. I know a little bit about that. I was a naval officer. I had a top secret clearance. In fact, it was compartmentalized above top secret. We only have 3 grades, confidential, secret, and top secret, and it's assumed that confidential and secret are already compromised. But top secret, we guard. We absolutely guard. With 2-man control or 2-person control. In other words, when you're looking at top secret information, it has to be done in a room with 2 people at all times. You have to sign for it and sign it back in. Now, I'm a little bit passionate about this because mishandling of top secret information has put people in jail. When I was in the Navy, one of my jobs was as a communication officer. Not only did I have to fly the airplane, but you have a ground job, and that's being the communications officer. And that's one of the most important jobs in the squadron because it's the quickest way a skipper can get fired. To me, what she has done is worthy of being not just fired, but put in jail. Now, I am voting for Donald Trump. I'm going to hold my nose and I'm going to do it. For basically, the fact is, I hope if he's elected that he can, with support of the American people, drain the swamp. I like that slogan a lot better than Make America Great Again. Washington, D.C., ironically, was built on a swamp. And unfortunately, it has become a cesspool of swamp rats. And they all need to go. Democrat, Republican alike, they all need to go. The party hacks need to be replaced by patriots. Is Donald Trump the right man to do it? I have no idea. But I know come Tuesday I got to vote for 1 out of 2 people. And my vote is going to go to Donald Trump. Before I walk into that church, our polling place is a church, I'm going to say a prayer. I'm going to say a prayer for our country, and I'm going to say a prayer that I'm doing the right thing. And I'm going to pray that you guys go vote. Vote your conscience. Make the right choice. And pray. Pray for our nation. I'll see you next week here on the Wealth Guardian Show on 94.5 WPTI. the Piedmont's News Talk and Sports Station.